Hello anybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie. I am Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the last episode, we got to the entrance of Bubblegloop Swamp, and in today's episode, we are not going down that mysterious tunnel, we are going right into Bubblegloop Swamp. We will deal with that tunnel later. So, as we start the game, or start the level, we immediately... And here's Bottles. Keep your eyes open for your new move, Beak Face! So as soon as we come into this new world, fourth world of the game, he's going to tell us to keep our eyes open for the new move. And, spoiler, it's actually right here. It's right behind the entrance. It's kind of a jerk placement, and it's kind of hilarious. So you can go through this whole world and not find this until you, like, leave. Which is funny because, as far as moves go, this is fairly necessary. These are the waiting boots. Chicken Legs wears them so you can safely wade through dangerous areas like the swamp for a limited time. Okay, Chicken, Kazooie, let's go grab a pair. Great, now you know all the swamp's new moves. Now, as I was saying in the Clanker's Cavern and in the last episode, I believe that the worlds are set up and split into sets of like 3. So this is the fourth world. So this world starts the second set of worlds in the game. And as such, it's slightly harder than the first 3 worlds of the game. Whoa, what just happened there? My footage flickered, but I am okay and alive. Anyway, now that that is taken care of. Sorry, that really disoriented me, I guess. So now we're in the fourth world. Worlds are going to get a little bit harder. They're going to be a little more dangerously constructed, and moves are going to be more sensitive, like context sensitive. Like the moves we learned in the first 3 worlds can be applied almost anywhere, whereas from here on out, they're going to be much more context sensitive. So now that we've gotten that out of the way... Yummy! Croctus liked that! And he's gonna spawn one of these. Me want yummy egg too! So this is going to be one of the Jiggy quests throughout the world, is that we have to go and we have to feed each of those things. Each time we feed one, a new one appears, and that's about it. So that'll be an easy one to get. So these are the wading boots. They allow you to go through swampy water. And with the fourth world of the game, this initiates another habit that is going to kind of define the rest of the worlds of the game, is that Banjo-Kazooie, from the fourth world onward, really likes environmental hazards. Like, from this point onward, we're going to be dealing more with environmental hazards like dangerous swamp water and like icy waters and hot sand. Then we'll be dealing with enemies like this frog, who we're going to maul. And worst move in the game, I shouldn't have even bothered. But that's just fine. If you do jump in the water... This is piranha water. Keep your smelly feet out. So the piranhas hate Banjo's feet so much that they don't want to even eat them, they just tell him to stay out. And that's fair. Usually these stumps contain stuff, usually it's just like ammo and stuff, so... Bubblegloop Swamp. It's very middle-of-the-road world for me. I don't think it's a bad world, not at all, but whenever I think of Banjo-Kazooie worlds, this strikes me as the very middle one. It's not my favorite, it's definitely not my least favorite. It goes somewhere right in the middle, and, you know, that's just fine. I think it's a perfectly average world where average is defined by Banjo-Kazooie standards, which is pretty dang good. Now, every time we put on these wading boots, we do get this theme of the game, and as a kid, I loved this theme. I thought it was hilarious, but now that I'm older, it's slightly annoying. I don't know, is that just me? It's a slightly annoying theme? I hope so. Maybe I'm just crazy. Anyway, the volume, if you play the volume too loud and like you're playing and you don't want to disturb others with the volumes, that's a very loud theme, and I know that's a very context-sensitive thing to say, but anyway, we are now dealing with these giant eggs, which have bandage marks on them, which mark where you're supposed to use your moves, and actually this makes you use most of your moves in the game, mostly the ground pound, but also like the pecker, wait, no, don't call it that, the beak barge, and that gets us our first Jiggy of the world. Now, since we're starting the world right from, like, we're starting this episode right at the beginning of the world, unlike most episodes, I think we're gonna get fairly far, and actually I'm wondering if we'll be able to beat this world. I know in the last few episodes I say that from the fourth world onward, the levels get much, much longer, but they're still relatively short, and I don't know if I was exaggerating, since I do have a tendency to do that. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to hit this button, which has a Jiggy symbol on it, and you can assume if there's a Jiggy symbol on a button, then it's going to spawn a Jiggy, and you're going to have to go get it, and you only have 45 seconds, you gotta rush. Actually, no, you have plenty of time to do this. that so much so that you can just kind of take detours like so. It's really not a big deal. And we spawn another one at the top of a bunch of huts, so that's no biggie. I mean, I don't know why that's related. Hopefully no biggie is not going to be the thing I come to say. In watching the Clanker Cavern episodes, I know I said terrifying and scary a lot, but really it wasn't that. I was just kind of over-exaggerating and latching onto a world. Oh, not a word. A world. So now that we come to this final portion, we're going to have to take some cautious footwork in order to get to this Jiggy, but as you can see, even with those detours we took, we were not really in danger of running out of time. We got a little bit close, but not really. Another way to do this, if you like, is not really necessarily to even just go across those dangerous platforms, is if you just jump, you can miss entirely and fall and hurt yourself. That's just wonderful. Now, coming up here to get a good scope of the land, you might notice that unlike the first few worlds in the game, and unlike most worlds in the game, Bubblegloop Swamp is unique in that it's not really centralized. There is no like centralized figure. It's actually broken. There's like a center area which is down here, and from there it kind of branches off into different areas, and that's actually a really neat level design. It's not, you can't just go in a circle around, you kind of have to go back to the middle and branch out to different areas.
An ugly, hairy trespasser. He's after our gold, but he'll never beat us all.
So these are the gold flibbits or whatever. They are actually a pretty tough enemy in that they take 2 pecks in order to defeat. Actually, the recommended method of doing this is to just bring out the Wonder Wing and just slam into all of them. But I'm not going to do that because that's kind of cheesing it. But as far as fights in this game go, this is one of the tougher ones, at least for when you come here, because at this point you're used to your peck move outright killing most enemies, and these enemies aren't very practical in order to ground pound, but Wonder Wing takes them out pretty much immediately.
You're too tough for us, Flibbits. Take our gold.
And with that, we get another Jiggy. What a wonderful Jiggy. So now that we're in this central area, we have a few options on where we want to go. We can go to the big crocodile head, we can go to the turtle, or we can go up to the, towers things. Yeah. I'm gonna go over to the turtle first, because turtles are fun. I like turtles. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't.
Ooh, my feet are so numb and cold.
So he's gonna tell us that his feet are numb and cold, and what can we do to help him? We could get fire, we could, you know, like, not shoot an egg on him. What you gotta do, actually, here is in order to warm up, you gotta ground. And he screams, he's like,
Oh, that's a bit better.
and this is terrible. That scream is hilarious. It's great. And he has boots on his back, but we're not gonna get those yet. I love that. That's how, it's just awful. And he's so grateful that he's gonna cough up a Jiggy.
Tank top's warm at last. Perhaps you'd like this.
And he coughs up a Jiggy because everybody eats Jiggies in this world if they're bigger than them, for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, a lot of people seem to mistake Jiggies for food. And that just seems inaccurate. And that's all you really need the boots for, by the way, is to get that Jinjo. I mean, you could also go in the water with the Wonder Wing if you really wanted to, but in any case, I'm gonna get this Jiggy. It's actually kind of a jerk placement that they put the molehill right behind the entrance, because if you come in here and you take damage from the swampy water, you can be treading carefully throughout the whole level and then only find the move on your way out, but I digress. Tell me what you think about that, maybe. We come in here and we see a defiance of all turtle anatomy in that this is not a turtle's stomach. It seems more like the inside of a turtle shell. And we come down here and there are a bunch of turtles with music notes on their backs. And you're wondering, what might that mean? And we're gonna find out, so, you know, shut up.
Quiet, please. The famous Tip Top Choir will now perform my latest work.
Bit short, isn't it, Shellboy?
We'll see. Copy what you just heard for lesson 1.
Oh, crap, I wasn't actually paying attention. I'm gonna go... this is embarrassing, I'm gonna ask him again. Alright, so that was a little embarrassing, but that's okay. This is... No, I didn't mean to ask again! Red, pink, purple. Okay, we got this. And of course, like everything else, we activate it by hurting them. It's hilarious how versatile the Beak Buster is. It's awful. which is funny because it doesn't work as much in the next game.
Not too bad. Try lesson 2.
Okay. What I like to do for these, generally for these kinds of games where it's like Simon, you have to remember the pattern, is I like to make like a directional pattern. Like if you see, this makes a triangle, and then it shoots down over here. Like it completes a triangle, and then goes to red. That's how I do it anyway.
Ah, splendid. You just need one more lesson.
Generally, I'm pretty bad at these games, though. Okay, so... Alright, that's not too bad. Generally, on the third lesson, he'll use the same ones, like, 3 times, or, like, 3 of the turtles twice, and then one weird one, just to kind of mix it up. Oops. Also, he hurts you.
No, that's not right. Try again or ask me to repeat the lesson.
And we took damage, and now that we've done that, we will go over here and finish the lesson.
Magnificent. A true masterpiece. Here, take this trinket I found earlier.
It's a trinket. It's not Jiggy, it's just a trinket. You just found it sitting in the swamp. It's just a trinket. It's actually already the 5th one in the world, so this is going faster than I thought.
Sorry, there's nothing more I can teach you.
And with that, we actually have half of the Jiggies in the world. This is going faster than I thought it would. And I'm not going to end off the episode just yet. Instead, I am going to go over here. I am going to go take care of what's over here. I am going to be doing this episode, this world in 2 parts, though, because there is something fairly big that we're going to need to do that we cannot do just yet. But for the time being, I am going to be doing this, which jumps us up on top of these huts, like the huts on Mumbo's Mountain, where we're destroying the homes of these native people. This is terrible, even though there's nobody living in them. Why would you build your houses up here? And why would you put a witch switch and music notes in one? That's just not practical. And we blow up the top of Gruntilda's hat. You might be wondering how that gets us a Jiggy, and it won't get us one quite yet, but we'll be seeing that a little bit later. That's actually one of my favorite Jiggies in Gruntilda's lair. I think it might actually be my favorite Jiggy in Gruntilda's lair. It's pretty awesome. So before we go over to that guy, we're going to want to come up here, and as a result of climbing to the highest point in the level, as per usual, we get ourselves a Jiggy. 6. 6 Jiggies. You know, I probably could just do the rest of this world in just this one episode, but I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm gonna go and get that guy first, but I think that's where I'm gonna end off the episode, because what we're gonna be doing after that is a pretty big deal. I think so. What's coming up next is actually one of my most memorable parts of the game, at least for me, because we're coming up to this giant crocodile head, and you're wondering, what is this? Is this a character? And not really, it's just kind of a giant hollowed out crocodile head. This thing has always kind of confused me, but I think it's someone's house. And when I say someone, we'll be meeting them in the next episode. He also has boots hopping on his head. If you want to get some like eggs and ammo, I don't know why they put like the ammo and stuff around the edges of the level in the swamp water. That's just kind of gross and not very entirely friendly, but so you have it. Would you... There. Is that like the only dragonfly in this level? I swear it is. And that spawns another one of those golden guys over there. So I'm just gonna go and quickly get that, and then that's gonna be where we end off the episode. Because we could go up this way and we could tackle this maze, but we're not gonna do that until the next episode. And for the time being, I'm just gonna end it off. But this was definitely shorter than I remembered. I think it's longer than Clanker's Cavern. It must be. This is kind of one of the cool things, or one of the crazy things about every time I replay Banjo-Kazooie. It always strikes my mind how even the later worlds, or even the middle worlds in the game, how short they are. It's impressive. Impressive how short it is, but I love it. I think it works to its favor in its replayability, and come on. At this point, you just want to kind of rapid fire your eggs, and with that, we actually bring ourselves up to a total of 7 Jiggies. So we've completed most of this world, but I don't think we're going to be finishing up it in this one. In fact, I know we're not going to be finishing it. up in this one as I fall into the muck. So if you want to see the rest of Bubblegloop Swamp and kind of the preparations for opening up the world after this, then I just guess I'm gonna hope to have to see somebody in the next one. Bye-bye!
Ah!